up, beautiful people? Welcome back to Whispering Willow Farm. Oh, y'all, I'm telling you, these 30-degree mornings, oh man, I'm not adjusted, but I've got my hot cup of brew. We are gonna go harvest all the things because we are having crazy hard freezes. That kind of makes me nervous. Plus, all of my stuff's actually technically ready to harvest. So I'm harvesting most of my broccoli today. We will be putting that in the vacuum sealer and just storing it in the freezer, which is typically what we do. I've got cabbages that are ready, and I'm going to be making some kimchi. I'll take you guys along for that in the next coming weeks. All the radishes I'm going to harvest and ferment for Nathan. He loved those. I felt so proud. He was like, babe. And anytime he like does that, I'm like, what's he about to say? But he absolutely love them, so I'm going to harvest all of them, make him more today. That was so simple, you guys. That recipe, I'll link the video where you guys can check it out. So simple, so straightforward, and then you could honestly just play with it as you needed to, which was really nice too. But let's head out to the garden. Let's go harvest some stuff. I'm excited. I am so excited. I love harvest days almost as much. Well, I love harvest days probably more than I love planting days because I finally get to like see the beauty of what I spent all my time planting and tending to. It's just such a great day. Our first step, however, would be to find a basket. I came out to the garden to harvest and I forgot a basket. So we're gonna head back inside real quick and try to find something. There it is, the best harvesting basket that ever was. This thing. Alright, I got my bucket. Seriously, this thing is a game changer. Okay, little note to all my friends. Be prepared when you go out to the garden. Have your knife, have your bucket, have your coffee. Alright, now we're officially ready. Take two. Should I start this again? I am so excited. Oh, y'all. I don't know how Nathan puts up with me sometimes. I'm so crazy. Alright, I'm going to, we had this plastic put up just from the frost. I didn't order my row covers in time, so we just went to the Home Depot. It's really thin plastic. However, for my established brassicas, this works fine. But I'm going to go ahead and take this off, and we're actually going to be harvesting the entire back row of broccoli today. A lot of these cabbages, all of these radishes as well. So it's kind of sunny, and usually I come out early in the morning and get this stuff done. That way you guys can see me well. But y'all, it was like 20 degrees when I woke up this morning. I was like, no, it's gonna have to wait until the sun comes up just a little bit. I have a feeling these are pretty good size because they've been in here for a while. Look at that color. Wow, these are pretty. I don't know how well y'all can see those. This is like literally frozen. Look how pretty it is. Look how pretty. This was like one of the ones I was so excited to show you guys. Check out that color. Let me turn you around. Look at that. This is a daikon. So pretty. So far my basket's pretty full. So there are some pretty good sized ones in here. You guys can see that one's pretty big. The daikon's pretty big. A lot of these other ones are kind of small. But this one right here, I've had the radishes in here for much longer than I have in that bed down there. So these will probably be much bigger. The nice thing about root vegetables is since they do grow in the ground, you can come out whenever you need them and harvest them and they'll stay fine. So the tops will die off, obviously, like what's happened here. Like those tops are no longer, you know, good, and especially like a beet, if you're eating a beet top, it's not going to have that same structure that you might be used to having. However, you can come out here and harvest beets whenever you want, and they will just stay. It's kind of like the soil becomes a root cellar, and it's really nice. Since I know I'm gonna be fermenting all of these, I just harvested them all today. However, I could leave them out there. Same with my carrots. The tops will die off, but they'll just stay good in the soil. Honestly, until spring. I could come out here, especially if I succession sowed them. I could just come out here whenever I needed them, harvest them for dinner. For me, it's a bit different because I'm just fermenting all of these, but do know that if you are planting root vegetables and they're good and established, they can stay in the ground for months, weeks, months, whatever your timeline is, until the spring comes around, and they're totally fine. All right, I just dropped off the radishes. Got some gloves because y'all, I cannot handle the cold. And it's really not even cold. I looked, it's 36 degrees. So for some of you guys, you're thinking, girl, that ain't cold. I'm telling you, I have to like warm up. Yesterday, Nathan and I were unloading firewood, and I was like, babe, it is so cold. He's like, you're also wearing leggings, not the most winter appropriate clothes ever. So I'm about to fold back all the plastic on the kohlrabi. These have actually gotten a little too big. A lot of you guys told me I should have harvested them, but just time got away from me really bad. But I'm hoping they'll still be okay, and if they're kind of woody, I'm going to try to make them into like a soup instead of fermenting them. So I'm just going to kind of see, cut into it, taste it, and then we'll just kind of go from there. Yeah, so this is certainly huge. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Certainly big. It's kind of frozen right now. But hopefully when I take it inside and cut into it, it'll still be good. I don't know, but decent sized kohlrabi. I'm actually going to go ahead and harvest all of these. This one's kind of smaller, but I'd rather it be on the smaller side and taste tender and good. You can see that one's kind of smaller. I think I'd rather do that though, just based off of what I've been reading and all y'all's recommendations, because these got way bigger than I thought. Now my purple, the Vienna is how I think you say it. Look at that one. They are taking a lot longer to become mature, which is kind of odd because I planted them at the same time, but they've just taken a lot longer to get established and things like that. I've been checking on them. There might be a couple that are ready, but overall they're still pretty small. I'll turn you guys around and show y'all. You can see here, still pretty small. Now that one's where it could probably be harvested. It's quite a bit bigger. Still not huge though, definitely not as big as the other ones. I get asked often, what does a kohlrabi taste like? I've never heard of it before. It kind of tastes like a cross between a turnip and a potato. It's like a mild, better tasting turnip, in my opinion. You guys may differ, you may have a different opinion, that's totally fine. I like turnips, but they have that very distinct taste. Kohlrabi has hints of turnip. It is in the turnip family, but it tastes kind of smoother. Like you can eat it raw. I know a lot of people just cut it up and eat it raw. You can use it like a potato, as far as like a potato soup and stuff like that. I actually grated mine up the other day and tried to make like a hash like you would a regular potato. It didn't work, as far as like I had strung out all the liquid and everything, but it just didn't hold together. So I just like grated it all, seasoned it, then I ended up putting it in a cast iron skillet in the oven and just broiled it. The taste was amazing. The taste was so good, but the texture wasn't crunchy like what you would get out of a starchy potato. So I would say that you could experiment with it a lot. If you've never grown it before, I would recommend. A lot of you guys said, y'all been commenting on my YouTube and my Instagram that you got the purple kohlrabi as a free seed with your Baker Creek order. That is a great deal. A lot of times they just give out herbs and stuff like that. So I say that you guys definitely have struck gold and just try it. They've been super low maintenance. They're cool. I mean, look how cool this little alien plant is. I would definitely say it would be worth just trying to grow and just see what happens. I think I'm going to leave the rest of the kohlrabi just to get a bit bigger, and I have more than I need right here just to be able to ferment what I want to ferment. The Brussels sprouts are doing really good. Nathan and I went through the other day and clipped the bottom leaves off. And by doing that, instead of the plant putting energy into making bigger leaves, they just like redirect and focus that energy on making bigger Brussels sprouts. The Brussels are doing well. They're getting bigger ever since I clipped the leaves off. So I had taken the bottom leaves off of this half and then not the other half just because, I don't know, I had to do something else. And I noticed that these are getting much bigger. So that is kind of just a tried and true tip. If you're wanting, you know, your plant to put more energy into actually growing the Brussels, then just go through and I take off like the bottom 2 layers of leaves, and it really, really does make a difference. My friend Jessica says every gardener needs a chair. I just found a random chair in the yard that the kids brought out here. I've been running back and forth like outside, inside because my bucket gets full and I can't find my harvesting baskets. I think, I don't know, either I put them up or something. So I keep like running inside, dumping off stuff, coming back out here. But my basket is about to be overflowing again. I'm getting so excited. It is moments like these. Well, oftentimes I come into the garden and I'm like, I am so stinking grateful. And this is one of those times. I've never really done a huge winter garden. And just seeing how abundant it is, I'm just reminded of how grateful I am to have the ability to grow food. And so you guys may be watching this and you may be growing a winter garden, or you may just be living through my garden or someone else's garden, and that's okay. If you're not growing a garden, take this time to dream and hope for the future. Write out things that you want to grow. Take tips and advice from me and other YouTubers and gardeners and growers, and don't get discouraged in that. There were plenty of seasons that I never grew this time of year, and I took that opportunity just to prepare for when I did. That way, this year it came around, I was growing a big garden in the winter and I knew what I wanted to grow. I had taken advice from other people locally in my area, YouTubers, gardeners on Instagram. So I just encourage you guys, if you may not be growing a big winter garden, just keep hoping and keep dreaming, because one day you will be living out those dreams. And I can tell you right now, it is extremely fulfilling. And this moment right now, spending the last hour and a half harvesting food in my garden, reminds me that the wait was so worth it. I've actually recruited Nathan. He gets quite as excited as I do, believe it or not. I've recruited him to come out here and help me harvest some stuff just to make it go a bit faster. I have a lot of stuff to harvest. I didn't quite realize how much of it there was, honestly. As you guys can see, even though we had the plastic on, these leaves still got bit by the frost. So I'm gonna just go ahead and harvest all of these, even if some of them are on the smaller side, just so I don't risk the fact of not being able to get any. But look at that. It's a good head of broccoli. So all of the broccoli that I planted this year was the Green Magic broccoli. I ordered the seeds from Johnny's, and I really like them. In the years past, I've tried Waltham, maybe, and I didn't really have good luck. It didn't do well. Granted, I didn't have some of the things in place that I do now, like the wire and the plastic and things like that. I kind of just sewed it out and hoped for the best. But this Green Magic broccoli, I mean, it's beautiful. It's done so well. It tastes really well. That was the deal too with the broccoli that I grew before. It did not taste right. It was weird. It almost was like tainted. And I don't know if that was just the broccoli itself or if maybe, you know, something in the soil. I really don't know, but it did not taste well. And I remember being kind of disappointed that I spent all this time growing it and then ended up not even tasting well. And I was like, well, that wasn't really worth it. So I've been really impressed. We had this for Thanksgiving. My sister made a broccoli salad and it was so good, so refreshing. So I'm probably gonna keep some of this out and use it fresh, but then the rest of it, like I said, we'll just vacuum seal it up and put it in the freezer. Hey babe.
Hey.
Yeah, these definitely are getting hit by the frost, so.
What?
So these were definitely getting hit by the frost, so.
Yeah. What are you What do you want me to do?
Harvest all the broccoli.
All the broccoli?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like this. I hope it's still good. The frost is like taking it out.
Nah. Be alright.
Yeah, but just.
Is it just on that side?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
it over here too?
No, just this whole row. Oh my gosh. Check that out. This is as big as my face. Look at that.
Oh my goodness, guys. Look at that sexy bucket of broccoli.
I was like, you can't say this on video.
This might get edited.
This might get edited. Look at all this broccoli, you guys. This is wild. We only did one row. We still have the other bed that we have to harvest from. So this is really exciting.
Broccoli for days.
For days. All right, guys, we have got all of this broccoli that we have now got to blanch and freeze. I have got all of these radishes that I have to ferment and put up. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today as I harvested from the garden. It was so much fun. I love this about growing food. Probably my favorite part. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I'll talk to you soon.